Jesus Christ. You see that? If you didn't know, it was Monday. It's Monday, and damn it. Crap. Anyway, as I was saying before, I had forgotten to. Yeah, no, I got some sign language for y'all. Anyway, it is a soggy Monday yet again. Down here at in Georgia, it has been a mess. I keep waiting for the sun to come back out, and the best we're getting is some studio lights. That's about it. That's the best we've got. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, I figured I wanted to do a quick little bit of a live stream here. I don't have a particular important topic outside of the fact that it's been a pretty awesome weekend. I wanted to give everybody a little bit of an update on what's been going on. And today's live stream is more about me than about the particular work, so we'll get on that. But anyway, first let's get through the good stuff. This weekend, we actually did our first. There's a cat. Oh, here, get out of the way, cat. We did our first online classes from the shop. We did one Saturday and one Sunday, and it was pretty damn awesome. I think we had one or two tech glitches. Really wasn't a real big deal, but managed to get through it. And I think everybody involved had a blast. I think the Sunday class we had 22 people there for. Had several of our Patreons that came by and checked everything out. It was a really, really good deal, and I was very, very happy with everything. This is going to be a reoccurring thing. I've been trying to get my brains together to get some sort of schedule put up. But like I said, that's all in the logistics here. At some point, I'm going to take a day off. I said, yes, surely. I work the weekend, kind of like the festivals. I'll take Monday and Tuesday off. I don't know. That's not how it works here. So I'll take a day off at some point. But hopefully, I'll get a class schedule engineered into the website, and that's where we'll be staggering everything or stacking everything. It's going to be a good deal. It's going to be pretty freaking awesome there. So, nope. I saw somebody put some caps in there. Lighthammer got the forge and his hammer and his book today. Fantastic. Yeah, like I said, if you've ordered a hammer in the past week, I am like way behind. I think I've got 4 hammers to do. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. Whether you like it or not, thank you for your patience. I'm getting out there tomorrow morning. I'm actually going to change the hammer style up a little bit. I've got to do some new dies, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, guys. Really and truly here over the past month has been basically trying to take at this point, we've got all these Legos, right? I mean, we've just got a pile of really awesome Lego pieces, and I've got to figure out how in the world to put them all together. And, is it sustainable? Is it something that can happen and continue? What's the deal? And the answer is, I don't know. At the moment, I want to drink and not think about it. But yet, here we are. So, been a good deal. It has been a good deal. No matter how you cut it, the fact of the matter is, the one takeaway is that everything has been awesome. The channel's still doing well. If you guys hadn't seen, I've still got videos coming out, and I've got enough videos filmed. They're going to be in the pipeline for this week, including our video on making a drift for starting to making our tongs. So, I mean, we're getting into a really, really good rhythm here, and I've just got to figure out how to put these pieces together so that I don't wreck myself and have a reasonable type of life and time to do something outside of film and do videos. But having said all that, I figured I would take, I know one thing that's going to happen as I continue with the channel is I'm going to have to make things a little fun. There's going to have to be those dry PBS videos that are, what everybody's here for. But I've got to have some more fun videos in there. I've got to have some more videos that are good for me on that end of it. I mean, I love teaching on that end of it, but sometimes I got to throw in some stupid just for my own sanity, and that's exactly where I'm kind of at. So, and the purpose of this video this evening, the dangers of internet blacksmithing, and I realize that there's only myself and a handful of other people that have been in this game a long time, actually being a well-known blacksmith on YouTube and things of that nature. I don't think anybody else, as far as being a blacksmith, has been on television as much as I have. I've been across 2 shows, so it's been pretty awesome. It still doesn't count for anything, but still pretty cool. But man, there are one of the weird things about stepping into that limelight is that the rules change when you start getting some fame behind your name. And it's very different about how you have to react with the world. Now, there's no doubt, look here, every tabloid has shown some crazy-ass celebrities out there that just have lost their mind. And it's terrible to see. Now, some of them deserve some bad things, but for the most part, you see a lot of reasonable people just lose their brains. And I'm going to tell you, I've never had that type of fame, but I've had just a little taste of that end of it when the 9/11 video came up, and of course through the comment sections that I enjoy even today. And I'm going to tell you, I understand why most of your very famous people either shut themselves off from the world or they are just people who simply don't care, because it is tough to give a damn and be in the public eye. I mean, it is tough, because if you're walking down the street and somebody goes by and suddenly with great passion points at you and calls you a very ugly name, not the point of, hey, you did this, it's just you suck, you smell like old milk, and of course much rougher terms, as a regular dude, at that point, I'm taking the hat off, making sure that I hand my glasses to my buddy, because what they've come up to do is, the words don't matter. They have showed up to have a fight with you. I mean, that's just it. I mean, the words and the reasoning doesn't matter. These are an invitation to punch somebody in the mouth. That's how this social interaction works. So, somebody comes up and starts telling you the business, I start putting my stuff away, taking anything out of my mouth, making sure, it's go time. And then amazingly, people are always surprised when they get punched. Well, I didn't mean for you to punch me. What are you talking about? And the weirdest thing is this now extends to the internet. There was here's the problem. When you're in reality and you're in with real people, you get a sense of the person that's in front of you, right? The internet doesn't allow you that. So if a crazy drooling person comes up and they start talking bad about you, they're nuts. So you dismiss what they say. It's very difficult to do that on the internet, because no matter who puts a comment up, you have no information about that particular person. You have no idea, if they're just nuts, if, they've got the Karen attitude, nothing about them. So for somebody who cares about these things, you take, good comments and bad comments come in on the same frequency. And it's tough to have any type of reasonable filter. And it's even worse when you suppress all that particular anger at a comment and you try to have a productive conversation, and then you find out 15, 20 minutes later that all this time and effort you put into, you're just dealing with an idiot. And you shouldn't have, you just wasted the time there. So the problem is, as somebody who cares, do you continue to engage with these people if time after time, let's just say the majority of the time, after 20 minutes, you find out they're just idiots or foul people that there was no hope of having a good conversation with them to start with? Some recent examples. I put out the Grinder video the other day, and I knew there was going to be some flack on that end of it, but I put out a video that I felt was an honest representation of what happens. Again, I think the biggest thing with the Grinder safety is the fact that we instruct our young guys in there on what's safe, but understanding that every professional that I've ever encountered takes the grinder guards off. Is it great? Is it smart? I don't know. It just is. And I thought that was a very honest representation of what happens. The reasons for it, the wisdom of it, I cannot speak to. But at the same time, I can say, hey, that's how it works in real life. And again, there's no professional, and I've been to a lot of their shops that their grinders don't look like my grinders. But anyway, there was a comment from a lady that in just the first 3 lines, there wasn't a counterpoint of, hey, maybe it's better to present it this way. It was just, you're foolish for making this point. What's the point? It was this incredibly overly dramatic nothing is what it was. Now, here's the deal. My job is to put out opinions and viewpoints and the facts as I understand them. That's my job. That's what I do. Okay. So when somebody comes up and says, all right, let's say you should temper steel at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit or harden steel at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when somebody comes along, especially an experienced smith, it's a situation where they say, okay, you should do it at 1250, and here's why. Now, here's the thing. I don't take that personally. To the best of my knowledge, it was 1200. Somebody has a contrary point, but they have some evidence and some reasons why. That's not a fight. That's not a personal challenge or confrontation. There's information out there that I may not have or I may not be experienced about. And a lot of the times I try to make sure that when I'm in those waters, I try to tell everybody I'm there. However, because I'm a little bit older and I'm smarter than most of the idiots, if I'm out of my depth, I simply close my mouth. I do not run my mouth on things that I don't know anything about. If I say something, I have a pretty damn good reason for holding that position. But it's okay. It is absolutely okay for somebody to say, hey, I've got some conflicting information. Where does this fall? That is a productive conversation. But somebody that came in, like this lady did on that grinder video, it was 3 personal insults with no substance whatsoever. It was nothing but an emotional hissy fit that was anger directed at me. So as a normal person, of course, every angry baboon button in my head is being mashed because somebody is crapping all over me for what is arguably and pretty substantially no good reason at all, because they didn't provide any counterpoints. So, Stephen, thank you. 5. By the way, what a great segue into, guys. Again, if you are, like I say, if you enjoy these streams, remember, this is the profession now. In the link in the description of the video is a link to donate. That's 100% goes straight to me. It's not through Super Chat. Goes straight to me. So check the link in the description. Book, TrentonThai.com, blah, 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 blah. Support the stream, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Stephen. That's a great segue. Anyway, so this lady sits there. There's all these things here. So I am, of course, I'm like loading up every your mother comment that I can think of into the rifle. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. So it's like jerking the reins on the horses. I hold up and I put back a message that says, look, all I see there are 3 personal attacks. If you have a particular issue with the point that I made in the video, please make it and I'll be glad to consider it. Which was probably the most reasonable, even-tempered response that could be. And so that diffuses the whole situation, So here's the deal. Her response was absolutely more of the same. No particular point. I think that the response was, what was the point of the video? I mean, my God, what was the point of the video? And again, it was all this fury with no substance. So at that point, I've taken a hit. I've let somebody throw poop at me. I've politely wiped it off and said, hey, what can we actually glean out of this? which is not a natural human state because everything in my body wants to walk over and start punching people in the mouth. That is a normal human reaction when somebody comes at you and throws a turd. It's perfectly normal. To be able to hold back from that, is going to be is tough, especially for somebody in my position, because again, I'm not known for exactly, being the best character at all times. But I will say, but see, at that point, here's the deal. If somebody comes by and throws a turd, I am then legally allowed to throw large turds back, and I have a very large repository of them. I keep them, I cultivate them so that I may throw them with the proper aerodynamics right back at where they came from in brute force. But that's not the point of me being on the internet. The point of me being here is to get good information out there, to learn myself, and to engage in productive dialogue. However, I, of course, have taken the stance that if somebody comes to me meaning to have no productive dialogue, then I get to engage in a non-productive poo-flinging dialogue. That's the standard. There's few, if any, times. D Baby, a new person here as well. Thank you very much. I can't recall any time that I have gone after somebody or ever gone after somebody. I've had some strong opinions on some things, but there's nobody that I have just flung poo at just for the purpose of flinging poo. There's been, so yeah, I'll stand right there. So now, here's the thing. And I see Corey talking about the sensitive these days. I don't think it's ever been any different because I just think that social media has allowed a more effective transmission of all the nastiness that's always been there. It was a good thing that it was kept away, that it was locked away. And here's the other thing, and I keep thinking about this. I'm getting older, but back in my day, this is before the age of the internet. I remember that there were people that used to come down to, talk. We were in a rural area. We were dirt poor. We still had projectors that ran reel to reel. Now, it wasn't that I'm that old. It's just that we were that poor in the school system, right? So what ended up happening is they were talking about, they were talking, this is in the early 80s, that the problem that we have with poverty and everything else and people being ignorant is we just don't have access to information, that these people live in ignorance because we don't have access to information. And then the internet came, and they were wrong. We were wrong about that. It wasn't access to information. It turns out that people are people and are willfully ignorant, even when provided with the finest education out there. People choose to be willfully ignorant, and it appears to be the nature of people for the most part. So, it's tough because I give a damn about my reputation on here. You guys mean the world to me. So when somebody comes along and throws a piece of poo-poo, I care enough about myself to say, hey, watch that, because I'm still a sensitive fella. If somebody has a problem with something I've done and it's somebody that, that's a viewer or somebody that has invested in it, man, I listen because that's family. I care about how the information comes out of this channel, what I say. I am ridiculously careful to make sure and try to put out the best information. And when I make a blunder, which is rare because I make sure to not open my mouth, nobody's going to beat me to the punch to say, hey, I was wrong. And if I said something that was untoward, then I'm also sorry about it. It's okay to be wrong, about facts because we're all perpetually learning. It's not always okay to be a butthole. So, I saw the quote there. Mike Tyson said social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people, not getting punched in the face for it. So that was a Mike Tyson quote, but the original quote actually came from the Conan series, with the books back in the day that said that civilized men were inclined to wag their tongue because they no longer feared having their head split with an axe. I believe that's how it went. So it's a mess. But one phenomenon that I'd like to share with you guys is one that happened again today. And again, I'm not going to call any names out of where this came from. It came from Facebook. We'll just leave it at that. But this has happened several times, not with this same individual, but it's happened with several of the videos. And I will tell you this, this is, I don't know where it comes from. For the scientist in me wants to actually meet these people face to face so I can get a flavor of what I'm dealing with. Because I don't understand how a reasonable person, I don't understand how a reasonable person could make these statements. Okay, so here we go. So today I put out the video on what hammer size is the best. Okay, so newsflash, people come in all different shapes and sizes. There's going to be lady blacksmiths out there, which tend to be not as big as us big fellas. So there's going to be some variation in hammer size, what's going to be a reasonable medium-sized hammer for everybody. And there's no hardcore rule. So when I do my video, the thing that I almost always recommend is try to stick around the 2-pound point. It's easy enough on the joints, and it also will move some metal. Now, even as a big guy like me, I have a 4-pound hammer, I have a 5-pound hammer, I have some bigger hammers, and every now and then I have to use those sparingly for some of the work that I'm doing. In the video, I said, anything that you work under 1/2 inch, 2-pound hammers where you want to be. If you go above that, really take the effort to get a buddy with a sledgehammer, because working those heavier hammers are hard on the ligaments. That's exactly what was in the video. I get a comment from a rather well-respected group that said, what this man is saying is mostly false. So he says this. In the next sentence, he says, yes, it is true for anything under 1/2 inch, I use a 2-pound hammer. And I'm sitting there, and my brain's, my transmission slips. I'm grinding gears. I'm getting metal in the transmission pan. Because he has an issue with what I've said. He calls me a liar. And in the next sentence says that, yes, he does exactly what I say to do in the video. The only contention was, he says, anything over 1/2 inch, he says, I use an 8-pound hammer, and I've done so for years, and I'm 62. So again, I'm trying to give this gentleman the benefit of the doubt. Your age has nothing to do with anything. And again, most people, there are people like Jay Riekert himself, smoked Marlboro cigarettes like a chimney for most of his life and seemingly suffered no ill health effects that could be, discerned outside of the rampant alcoholism. So cigarettes didn't bother him. Other people are dead of cancer at 20 after 2 cigarettes. So people are different. But this guy somehow thinks that his age is important to the conversation, and after literally having agreed with what I have said, but has called me a liar. And my brain is just, I'm not getting this. But this phenomenon is not unique. This has happened several times before, especially when I put out what is perceivably a contentious video. I will have people that will say, this guy is talking out of his ass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then the next sentence agree with everything that I said and then just proceed to poop all over me. And I'm like, I understand if somebody has a different opinion, but don't call me names. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And then the next breath said, well, yeah, he's right. But boy, he's a jackass. If you just want to express how much you dislike me personally, fine. That's your internet right. But don't call me a liar and then agree with everything that I said. and again, this is not, this is not, it's not an uncommon thing. And I just, I have to take this with a grain of salt. And guys, you got to remember, again, it's strange. Even though I'm in front of this camera, and I've been on camera a lot, I go up, I stand up and go to the bathroom just like everybody else. I am a guy in the middle of nowhere, isolated from just about everybody, and this is my outlet to the world. It doesn't somehow give me magical armor, when somebody says ugly things about me. Now, the fact of the matter is I will absolutely confess to taking great delight to having an idiot come by because they're a play toy and they're not a match. I am a scarred veteran of the internet wars. So, when you come with your insults, you better come with very good ones, But at the same time, nobody wants to live like that. There's not a reasonable, sane, good-hearted person that wants to fight on the internet every day. And I don't. I just happen to have very good defensive capabilities. It's unreal. So, and I knew this was going to start back up. Now, amazingly, now get this. Now, here's interesting. Normally there's the hate mail that comes in for 9/11 is, the 9/11 video is tremendous. Once the election started, all that went away. So I got a good feeling that the Russian troll farm was hard at work stirring up bullcrap, but then they found something more interesting to go on to, and then the messages just stopped on that end of it. But I knew there was going to be a few of those idiots that still come by. But now I've gotten most of that tamped down. But I scroll through the comments on Facebook. Now I post from my account. To places like Blacksmithing for Beginners, and I'm not certain. And this is the thing that I wonder oftentimes, because it is posted from my account, and then I have people talking about the video in the comments below it, and they speak as if I'm never going to read that comment, right? Like as if I am some super celebrity that's never going to see that comment. And I'm like, it was literally posted from my account. I don't know how you think that I'm not going to see it. So then when I do show up and say something, they're like instantly dumbfounded. And then it's like there's this phenomenon of where they feel much more important that they get to insult somebody who's well known. I called Trent a jackass. It's very strange. I'm pretty sure it could be there's an entire I'm pretty sure there's an entire psychological study that could be done on it, but it's pretty damn ridiculous. So I don't know. I do not know. I don't think I'll ever know. I just think I have to contend, and I think that's just going to be the way it is. So, but anyway, my mind is always blown. Here, I'm trying to adjust some. There we go. My mind is always blown when I deal with stuff like that. I just cannot wrap my brains around the idea of why that is. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I'm played out. I feel better. Thank you guys for being my online therapists. And ladies, thank you for being my online therapist. I need some in-person lady therapy really bad, but that's a different matter. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll dive into the comment section here pretty quick here. And see a lot of the original folks here. Fisticuffs back in here. Bill's in. Bill, totally off subject question. How do you handle people who just show up at your shop just to say hi? That is an excellent question. When people just show up, one, I know this is weird. And again, guys, if you're watching me from here, from that side of the camera, it's Trent, the guy, he's been on TV, blah, blah, blah. I am just some jackass in the middle of nowhere. I have a house like everybody else does. So when weird people show up in the driveway, we take notice. And especially because the 9/11 thing, when strange cars drive up, we kind of make sure that there's one in the chamber and put on our smile greeting faces. So there's been a couple times we've had some weirdos show up, and so there has to be, we're always polite, and I always try to make time for somebody, but, most of the time when I'm out there, I'm working in the shop, and somebody shows up, I always enjoy talking, believe it or not. I enjoy having guests on that end of it, when it's not costing me money. So, but for that purpose, I have a broom that is specifically labeled for guests. So if you're in the shop and you're dropping by to say hello, there is a guest broom. And so you get to ask and speak about all the things you want to, as long as you're sweeping with the broom. You can only ask questions and discuss things while that broom is moving. And that way, so that has been a fun thing to make sure it happen. That somebody's got to be sweeping because I'm on the clock. So, oh gracious. But anyway, tall poppy syndrome. People have to try and bring down successful people. But that's the damn problem. That is the problem. I have all the aggravations of being known and none of the benefits because I ain't got no damn money. I'm not all that damn successful. I've got my head above water after 40 years. Some folks' definition of success sucks because I ain't there. Oh man. Anyway, well, guys, for this week, like I said, I have some more shop tips come up, and I saw a comment come by about the shop tips somewhere. Let me go back through here. I said somebody. Who was that said something about the playlists? Something about the shop tips. Where that? I saw it. I know it was somebody in there. Who said that? Retype that comment. Something about the shop tip playlist. By the way, I figured out that I can actually trim the live video, so no longer will there be 8 minutes of dead time in the front there. So, all right, Lighthammer, what were you want me to do? What you want me to? Like I said, I'm trying to. It's 5 o'clock. Forgive me. I've been trying to get everything organized here lately and try to get all the playlists on there. The big thing is I'm trying to link them through there. Okay. Gotcha. So, well, that's a good point. If you're a fan, we had one drop by the other week. If you're a fan and you want to come by the shop, amazingly, all my contact information is on my website, TrentonTodd.com. So if you are coming by or you want to stop by, if you will please, just like I said, there's a phone number on the website. Shoot a text to the number. Shoot me an email. Just give me a heads up. Like I said, it depends on, I have to make the mail runs. I have to go mail out books and hammers. So if you're coming through and I've got time, I always try to take the time for fans. But again, do try to send me a heads up, an email or something like that. That would be awesome. So, and Lighthammer, I will actually get those on the playlist. I'm glad you said something. I'll get those loaded up here shortly. So, yeah. But all right, well, guys, I am going to call that an evening. I have, like I said, I'm going to have a glass of wine, and I'm going to go. Like I said, do some mind-numbing fun gaming and cook a little dinner. So, yeah, indeed. Oh, Colin, that was a good question. One more. Are you considering a forge-along? I tried to do the rat tail tape with you on Sunday, but it was a bit of a mess, but fun trying. That speaks directly to our classes. Man, the idea of a forge-along class is freaking awesome. I don't know how to approach it yet. So I'm thinking about it. It's on the list. It's just taking my brain some time to process it and how to do it effectively. So, yes, indeed. Mr. Herndon, I've got an email coming back to you tomorrow morning. Like I said, I looked at the pictures and everything, and things are looking pretty good. So I'll shoot you an email. Jeff, go play some Valheim. You'll love it. That's actually what I'm headed to play right now. So, yep. All right, guys, y'all be good. Again, thank you all very much for being here, and I will have some more videos out. And I'm trying to see about doing some more of these live streams, even if these just are these fireside chats. They're good for me. They're therapy for me, even if I don't have a great point. So anyway, thank you guys for being here and listening to me run my mouth. You guys be safe. Check you later.